So you're thinking about selling one of the hottest tech gadgets out there. Activity trackers? It sounds like a fantastic idea, but where do you even begin? Well, in this explainer, we are going to break down the exact steps to build a really successful online store in this very specific niche. Let's get into it.
You get the appeal, right? I mean, wearables are absolutely everywhere. But that thought of trying to compete with the big guys, with their giant catalogs and all that tech jargon, yeah, it can feel completely overwhelming. It's like, where would you even start?
Okay, here it is. This is the game-changing idea that frames our entire strategy today. Your path to success is not about having more products or more complicated features. It's about bringing more clarity. It's as simple as that.
And that brings us right into our first section. Look, the market for wearables is massive, no doubt about it. But the key to unlocking it, especially if you're a new seller, is building a solid foundation of trust with your customers. Because here's what's really going on inside a buyer's head. They're not just comparing gigahertz or screen resolutions. Nope. They're asking these simple, practical questions. They just want to know if a device is going to solve their problem without creating a bunch of new headaches. Answering these questions clearly, that's how you start building that trust.
So how do you do that in a way that actually works? By focusing, I mean really focusing. Your most powerful strategy is to stop trying to sell to everybody and instead find your own specific corner of the market. Your niche? That's your competitive edge.
And a niche doesn't have to be some super complicated thing. You could be the go-to store for runners who just need a reliable GPS watch. Or maybe for older folks who want a simple, easy-to-read step counter. Each one of these groups has really specific needs that the big stores, they often just ignore them.
And this right here, this is a perfect example of how a niche turns into really powerful messaging. A simple promise like this one instantly tells a very specific customer, hey, you're in the right place, we totally get you. It just cuts through all the noise.
All right, so once you've got your niche figured out, the next step is not to go out and build a massive catalog. Actually, you're much better off without one. The key here is to curate a small, really smart range of products. Less is more. First, a quick decision on your stock model. You could sell brand new devices, which is pretty straightforward but also super competitive. Or you could go with refurbished ones. That'll give you better margins, but it does require a bit more work on the customer support side of things. Both are totally valid paths to take.
And get this, you don't need hundreds of different trackers to pull this off. A focused range of just, say, 8 to 15 core items is often all it takes to get started and be successful. Remember, the goal is better guidance, not endless, overwhelming choice.
And here's the magic trick that makes that small range so powerful. You organize it by use case, not by a boring list of specs. So instead of just listing features, you guide the customer directly to the solution they need. Someone looking for a gift? Bam, show them a bundle. Someone who's all about sleep tracking? They get the most comfortable model. This simple shift makes buying so much easier, and it builds a ton of confidence.
This leads us perfectly into the language you use. To really truly stand out, you've got to stop talking like a tech manual and start talking like a helpful, friendly expert.
You've seen this before, right? This is what you find on most electronics websites. It's just a wall of jargon, what I like to call tech spec soup. It's confusing and, let's be honest, it's not very helpful for the average person who just wants to know if they can wear it in the pool. Now, instead of all that jargon, just imagine a product page that answers these questions, clearly and right up front. We're talking plain English for real-world problems. This one change can have a massive impact on your sales, just because it makes buying feel safe and simple.
Okay, so you have your niche, you have your curated product line, and you've got your clear messaging. The final piece of the puzzle is bringing it all together and actually launching your online shop without getting totally bogged down in the technical stuff. And yeah, this is the question that stops so many people dead in their tracks. How do you create a website that actually feels clean, professional, and trustworthy, especially if you're not a tech person? Well, one great option is to use what's called a done-for-you service. For example, a company like Make Local for Global is designed for this exact situation. They handle all the technical website setup, which frees you up to focus on what you're good at, sourcing great products and helping your customers.
And these services are often built to be super accessible for new businesses, usually with a simple, all-inclusive annual fee. This kind of model avoids any nasty hidden costs and gives you a really clear path to getting started.
The process for services like this is designed to be as straightforward as possible. You focus on your products, the part you're actually passionate about, while they build the online store for you. This means you can go live with confidence, knowing that the technical foundation is totally solid. So if you're looking for service, just make sure it's built around the same values we've been talking about this whole time: clarity, simplicity, and trust. You really want a solution that's designed for beginners who want to build a business, not become expert web developers.
So, let's bring it all back to where we started. This is the single most important thing to take away from all this. Your success in this market doesn't come from having the most advanced tech, it comes from providing the clearest explanation. Be the guide your customer is desperately looking for.
By focusing on a specific audience and speaking their language, you can absolutely build a thriving, profitable e-commerce business. Your niche is out there, just waiting. The only real question is, are you ready to be the one who explains it best?